Hey everybody, I'm so excited that we're finally launching our new core values. It's been a long project and one that a lot of people have put in some amazing effort into, and it's just really exciting to see this finally happening. For those of you that might not know that we've been working on new core values, the reason that we've been doing that is because although the old core values represent who we are and still do and always will, we felt like we needed to be more specific about the behaviors that we want to see that will point people in the direction that we need to go. So we did end up with, not really by design, a little bit by coincidence, with 5 core values for our new core values, which align with the 5 stars in our logo, much like our last set of core values, and just super excited to share them all with you. Core value number 1 is be bold. I couldn't think of a better core value to start the list off with. Being bold is something that is super important to taking care of customers. When I think about the times that I've had great customer service and great experiences, it usually involves somebody on the other side of whatever that product or service was, being bold, doing things that were a little bit unexpected, but taking care of the situation. So love that core value for sure.
Being bold. I think that being bold and being brave are kind of the same thing. And a lot of times when we're brave, it's not in these great, big, huge ways. We're not pulling people out of cars and being brave. Sometimes being bold or being brave is having a critical conversation, even though it's really, really scary. And sometimes it's following our gut. It's taking a risk at the right time and for the right reason, and a lot of times for the right person, especially in business, because if we don't take risks, if we don't try something new, the status quo is never going to serve us best. So if we're not bold and we're not going to step outside of that line and we're not going to try harder and try something different and try something new, we're not going to grow. And that doesn't do anybody any good. So be bold, be brave, take a risk, have fun.
Why I think it's important to be willing to jump in and help a coworker or a client in need, even if it's not necessarily my job to do so, is because helping others and sharing information is really the right thing to do at the end of the day. What we do is so complicated, and it's really one big puzzle, and we're all pieces to that puzzle.
I think the last brave or bold thing I did was actually take a position that was different and in opposition to what most members on the succession team wanted to do. And I won't get into the details of what that issue was, but most of the succession team wanted to do one thing. And from a legal perspective, I didn't think it was a very good thing to do. And I had to state my case and convince them that we should take my recommendation. And ultimately they did, and it turned out to be successful.
I would say to make sure that you always put yourself in our client's shoes. We have no idea what they're going through on their end of the phone line, on their end of the email chain. We have no idea what's going on. And so I would just say that even though they may be unhappy or they may be yelling at you, it could be because there is something bigger on their side that they're going through. And we just have to do our best to help them and to be their trusted advisor.
Being bold is just that, being bold. Bold meaning to be confident in taking a risk. So no matter what we do, we always have to take risk, whether it's letting the customer know what we can or may not be able to do and being confident about that answer that you're giving them. Or even if it's a coworker or even a member of management, we all want to work together and just be confident in what we're doing. So being bold enough to say, hey, I might have a new way of doing something or bring value, added value to the team. I want to be able to do that with as much confidence as I can and stand behind what I'm doing.
Core value number 2 is make it your business. And this is a core value that really is going to eliminate the ability for people to say things like, well, that's not my job, or not in my job description. I also think one of the great things about make it your business is it encourages us all to learn more. And learning every day is something that I think is super important, not only in business, but in life in general. So the next time you're faced with something that you're not quite sure how it works, instead of just touch passing it on to the next person in line, take a minute, understand how it works. It's gonna really lead to some better experiences, not only for our clients, but for all of our employees and myself as well.
I absolutely love the core value of making it your business. You can't do right by your customer if you're not willing to own what you do. I think that in my role as a payroll specialist, I make it my business every day when if I make an error or my coworker makes an error, to not make excuses, but to do whatever I can to make it right and preemptively correct situations even before they know that anything is wrong.
Being able to take that personal responsibility is extremely important to me. Whether right or wrong, just own up to mistakes and learn from those mistakes and move on. We all make mistakes. I'd like to say that I'm perfect, but I'm not. At least that's what my wife keeps telling me.
It has to do with making sure that anything that comes across our desks, whether it is our department or our typical role or not, if it's to better serve a client or one of our employees, that we make it our business and take care of it.
Taking ownership in your work is taking the initiative and action to finalize and complete everything, not making it anybody else's responsibility, and making sure that the final product is the best that it can be.
I've had probably 7 outtakes of this next question. It's a doozy, so bear with me. Let me see if I can get my words across properly. When you make something your business, I think all you're doing is showing you care. And I think it's as simple as that. I think all you have to do is ask questions, listen, be genuine, and provide tools that could possibly help. You know, how do I do this? And I mean, I feel like I try to ask questions, to listen, to provide tools, just to show that I do care. So, you know, make it your business. That can be a little confusing, but it could be simple. Just think of it as caring. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what everyone wants? Is just to know that someone cares.
Core value number 3, conquer the impossible. I think there's a lot of times where things can seem impossible, or the easy way out is to say, well, we can't do that, or that's not how that works. This isn't to say that we can necessarily solve every problem in exactly the way that a client wants us to, or another department or coworker wants us to, but that we can figure out solutions, even when it seems like they are impossible. So just love that one. I think it's a great core value to live by every day, and that we're gonna really see some amazing things within the company if we keep that as a focus.
Conquer the impossible. I love this core value because for me, it really embodies where we're going as a company. I think innovation is really about doing something differently. If you see something, say something. If you have a problem, find a solution. Conquering the impossible is really just that, doing something differently in a way that benefits the whole.
That's simple. the organization actually needs all of us in order to actually function. And from each of us, we have our own different perspectives. We have our own different understandings. And with that, we can come up with creative ideas to help make the business better from our perspective, from our position. And each of those positions is important in order to make the whole work well together.
So my supervisor is Misty Ramsey. And a year ago, when I for sure knew that I was going to get fired from my position because I wasn't really good at it, she told me that she was not going to give up on me, and so that I couldn't give up on myself. And so from then on, I knew I could do it, because if Misty knew I could do it, then I knew I could do it.
If you're just pointing out problems, you're just kicking the can down the road, essentially. Everyone's really busy. Everyone has a work life. Everyone has a personal life. There's always deadlines. So if you're just pointing out a problem and then pushing it off onto somebody else, it just increases the time that it takes to solve that problem. So even if you don't have the answers, it's good to at least throw your weight into it and get the process started, because then other people will see that you're working on this problem, and it makes it easier for them to jump in and help too if you're already setting things in motion.
No, I think that conquering the impossible is actually more or less about conquering ourselves. It's being willing to say, why not? If somebody says, oh, we don't do that, why not? Why not take the chance? Why not try something new? Always be willing to ask why. Always knowing that every single thing is figure outable. That there's always a reason to try something new. It's okay to dream big. It's okay to say, hey, we're going to try this thing, and even if it fails, well, we knew that failed, didn't work, but let's try the next thing now. I think that you have to be willing to solve problems. It's not about always saying, there is a problem of saying, hey, I saw this, and guess what we can do instead? It's all of that dreaming big, trying more, saying yes, even when your heart is like pounding really hard and you would rather say no. That to me is definitely conquering the impossible.
Core value number 4, be one Avitus. And I've heard a lot of conversations recently about how it seems like Avitus Group is still siloed, even though we have this One Avitus Group initiative. Let me be clear. We're always going to have departments. There's no way that we can live in a world where we don't have delineation between departments. But what we can do is stop using those department lines as a battleground. And that's what this is all about, is that no matter what department we're a part of, and whatever structure we're in, at the end of the day, the most important thing is the fact that we all work at Avitus Group, not that we're a part of a particular department within Avitus Group. So really important core value going forward.
Being one Avitus means working together and showing gratitude and appreciation for the people that you work with, not only in your own department, but in the other departments throughout the company as well.
I love the people that I work with because I feel that we work together well as a team. No matter what happens, we get the job done. And I think it comes down to us all feeling the same goals of wanting the department to succeed.
Everyone is super passionate about what they do, and we really try to provide the best service to our customers as possible. And everyone just really collaborates with other departments to get that done.
We're in all different offices, and we all have something different going on during the day. It's just kind of fun to learn about their different culture too.
For me, awesome collaboration comes from checking your ego at the door, getting ready to learn, getting ready to see other people's opinions.
One of the ways I work to bring people together is by trying to excavate what's been unsaid. And what I mean by that is sometimes behind the thing that seems to be an issue or seems to be a relational hurdle that we're trying to get beyond with a given person or a group of people is something that needs to be excavated and come to light. And that thing, as you go to work on it, once it's understood, it makes so much sense why that relationship was awkward, or why Eli and Larry, let's say, who's a person on our team, didn't have a great relationship to start and do now, which isn't a real thing, but that could be how it would be with a given person. So I want to excavate the unsaid, and I want to work at creating an environment where anything can be said. Maybe someone's got a hurt they need to work through. Maybe they've got some bitterness about someone on the team or something that happened to them long before they came to Avitus Group. And so I think when those things can be spoken and released and forgiven and worked through, that brings people together in a way, unifying them because they know it's a safe place. And their emotions, as odd as they might be, as odd as my emotions and my complexities might be, they can still be worked through because the environment and the culture and the climate has been set so that we can talk about it.
What leads to awesome collaboration? To me, first and foremost, a strong leadership and a clear vision is the most important thing to the success of the whole company. A strong leadership is like the head train. It defines the destination and it tells all the people where we are going.
What I like most is that I learn something new every day, especially from the younger ones. And I think the best way to what leads to collaboration?
I would say for our collaboration, we do a really good job of meeting every single morning to discuss what we have going and what our focus will be for the day.
Everybody really encourages and likes to see everyone succeed. It isn't a dog-eat-dog world. It's more of a family-oriented. I mean, I love seeing my other teammates win in their job, and they love seeing me win. So I think that's what I love most about my team.
And lastly, dance if you want to. I think this core value is a fantastic way to kind of cap things off. And really, we need to bring more fun into the work environment. We do have fun. I see people having fun quite a bit, but I'd like to see more of it. One of the things that we've done recently that I think is a small step towards that is our change to the dress code, allowing everybody to wear jeans, be more comfortable in their workday. At the end of the day, we want all of you to be comfortable, to have fun, to enjoy what you do, and we know that with that is going to come a lot better experiences for our clients, and hopefully better work days for all of you, and that you'll be getting up in the morning excited to come to work, excited to spend time with your coworkers, and excited about what you do every day.
When was the last time I had fun at work? That's an easy one. Every day. Every day I have fun. Or I make sure I have fun at work. What we do is stressful enough. If we didn't have fun at work, it would just be, what would be the point of coming to work if we couldn't have fun? Whether it's talking to Leela about Letterkenny or joking with clients over the phone or in person, I try to put a little bit of levity into everything that I do.
See what we can do, create opportunity-wise in Bozeman. No, let me redo that, Julie. When's the last time you had fun at work? Every day. Eli Johnson put in my blood. Having fun is fun. Like I said, I'm in the town pump parking lot right now, about to keep rolling on the day. So that's why I like the autonomy of the BD role. And yeah, it's a great gig. All smiles. It's a real smile. I appreciate that. So God bless. Go Avitus Group, and appreciate you, team.
The first question I was going to answer was, when's the last time you had fun at work? Because that was the easiest, because it was yesterday. I have fun at work most days. Not to say that some days aren't challenging and some days aren't chaotic, but most days I have a reason to laugh at work. Most days I have a reason to share joy with my coworkers. And that's pretty awesome. There's a lot of people in our society that don't get to say, I love my job, I love who I work with, and I love what I'm doing. So I take that as a huge blessing in my life. Me and Nikki Fox share an office. We're hilarious. So there's not a day that goes by that we don't have a really good laugh. In fact, most of the time, I'm afraid that we're the loudest people on the 10th floor because we're constantly cracking each other up to the point where we're crying in tears. And that's fun at work. That's fun at work. You have to make work fun. Otherwise, work is just work.
I get up at 4 a.m. every day and I feed all my animals. I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 4 chickens, and a rooster. And I try real hard not to get attacked with a rooster. He's kind of a jerk. But I drink lots of coffee, and that's how I bring my A game to work.
Actually, this one's pretty easy. The last time I had a lot of fun at work was when we did the pictures for Santa Claus, and everybody was able to bring their children in and sit. And Steve Bentley, our CFO, dressed up like Santa Claus and played the part quite well. And it was the first time my son was able to participate, and so that was really fun. And although the picture doesn't show it, I think he did have a really good time.
We all spend so much time at work that making sure that our work environments are fun and engaging is super important. The phrase, you can dance if you want to, I think is so amazing because having fun is different to every single person. Having fun could be doing raps at work. Thank you again, Brock. Or it could be as simple as having a great coworker connection and having a break time and talking about life. It can be, having fun with your clients and not taking life so seriously. So you can dance if you want to. Love it.
Hi, this is Matt Brownlow, BDA out of Bozeman, currently in the Town Pump gas station parking lot, and we're gonna go and see what we can do, create opportunity-wise in Bozeman. No, let me redo that, Julie.
You have to take accountability for the actions for your actions.
Okay, so I really don't like to do things like this. I don't like to be on the camera. I don't like anything about it. So I wrote it all down. So I'm gonna read it for you.
All right, so here we are at my home. I'm not a big selfie guy, so yeah, we'll see.
And the last time I had fun at work was the last day at work before I came to Las Vegas. What was it? Something what leads to collaboration?
And really, just dance. Dance whenever you feel like it. Get into it.
So my final question here is, how do you bring your A game, even on a bad day? Well, for me, coffee is definitely a huge help.
Conquering the impossible. Getting me to do one of these videos, right there, Brock, you win. That to me is definitely conquering the impossible and getting me to do one of these videos.
I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 4 chickens, and a rooster. And I try real hard not to get attacked with a rooster. He's kind of a jerk.
Well, hi, Emily. You've asked me to answer a number of questions, and so I will. And I won't answer all of the questions. So the first question on your list, then your next question is, the next question, do you think it's important to take personal responsibility? What are some of the things you love most about what leads to awesome collaboration? What's the last time you had fun at work? What do you enjoy most about helping clients? How do you take ownership in your work? How do you bring your A game? Do you tend to jump in to help clients? So Emily, that's the last question on the list. Christine and I were wondering how these videos will be used, and so we'll be interested to know how they will be used.
Well, I am here with my little girl, Bo, who has joined me by the fire this afternoon. And, oh, I got another. You joining? Well, I'm one of 5 kids. I'm 4th in line. I remember hiding fruit snacks and hiding certain things when groceries would come so that I knew it was safe within the cupboard, because that's just the world we lived in. And it's comical, and we laugh about it as adults now, but those are the things I did to make sure I had pretzels, made sure I had whatever, Hot Pockets. Hold on, and then I'm telling these people at work some of the things that I like about helping our clients. These people right here, they're interviewing me. We're recording it. On my phone right there. Man, sign me up. And then lastly, share a story about trying new things or learning from a mistake at work. So the first thing that comes to mind is a time that Travis Breer, who's now our CRO, and I were working together. He was at that time a business development manager, and he and I were making calls in Belgrade, Montana, and we called on a dental office. And I handled it so poorly. The gal was rude to me. I was insecure and uncomfortable that Travis, my boss, is watching me make calls. I'm wanting to make a good impression, and nothing could have gone good in that time. And so the gal interrupted me. I'm trying to give a presentation. I'm trying to let her know what we do. And finally she said, "You haven't even explained what you do." And I said, "Well, if you stop interrupting me, I could explain it." So we got back in the car, and Travis was super gracious. He said, "You know, I think you probably could have handled that a little bit better."
Mic drop.